evening and welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Angela Rippon. Now, in the news this week, Jeff Bezos denies funding his fiancée's spaceflight by siphoning money from other projects as testing begins on Amazon's new flying delivery vehicles. In Shropshire, after an entire group of Alcoholics Anonymous all fall off the wagon at the same time, attempts to pinpoint a cause focus on the previous day's guest speaker. And in Cheltenham, Frankie Dettori is forced to improvise as his car indicators stop working. On Ian's team tonight is a comedian who recently said that she sees no reason to retire, as there are some amazing examples of people still going into their 80s. Will you please welcome the guest on tonight's winning team, Joe Brand. On Paul's team tonight is a best-selling author and presenter who recorded 1,300 episodes of the game show Pointless, giving away total prize money of almost £300. Will you please welcome Richard Osman? Well, we begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Ian and Joe, here are yours.
St. Peter's Square. That's the shortlist for Pope.
Can't get in. What's the
They're
news?
sealing the door.
I know, I've seen Conclave.
Oh, and that's J.D. Vance asking for forgiveness.
Is he not J.D. Vance anymore?
I thought he was J.D. Sports. The Pope's dead.
On Easter Monday, wasn't it?
It was.
Yes, indeed.
Shortly after he met J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
I think it's Vance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was meeting J.D. Vance. Vance or Vance.
Yes.
He was given advance warning.
And there he is, yes.
You can see the look in the Pope's eyes, can't you? Right, that's it, I'm off.
It's the sort of Liz Truss effect, isn't it?
This is indeed the news that the Pope has died. Thousands of mourners got the chance to file past the Pope's coffin just as soon as Holly and Phil had paid their respects. He was visited by J.D. Vance, and in recognition of the Pope's record on speaking out against climate change, J.D. arrived at the Vatican in a motorcade of 40 4x4s.
I can't do that sum.
Yeah.
I've been on before when a pope died.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I've had 2 dead popes now. If I get a third, I think that makes me the Antichrist.
You're on the way.
I could live without it.
Yeah.
Imagine the car insurance if you're the Antichrist.
Yeah, yeah.
He could arrive in 6x6s.
Now, Ian, do you know about the eerie coincidence involving the Welsh footballer Aaron Ramsey?
Do you know, I don't.
No.
Anybody?
Yes, I think every time a pope has died, he scored for
Hat-trick?
Wales or for Arsenal or for...
Can't be a Pope dies every time he scores. That'd be 20 popes a season, wouldn't it?
Well, funnily enough, you're right. Because every time he scores a goal, a famous person dies.
Oh.
Okay.
When he scored twice in 2 games in 2016, David Bowie and Alan Rippon died.
To be honest, a famous person dies every day. So this correlation is statistically poor.
So I just got to get that. Hang on. Hello, yeah. Well, I could start on Monday. Yeah, I was brought up as a Catholic, yeah. OK. I've got to finish this and I'll be with you, yeah. Hey! I don't care about the score now.
That's fantastic. Habemus papam.
How dare you?
Imagine if you ring Sky Bet and say, give me odds for Paul Merton to be Pope.
So who are the leading candidates for the top job of Pope?
They're lining up the candidates. Ray Fiennes.
So you've seen the film as well?
Yes, and like most newspaper journalists, I thought that's enough research.
I'd go for Stanley Tucci, who is the menopausal lady's fave.
There's lots of the names of people who sound like they're going to be Pope. And then there's a Kevin. I know that because I looked through the betting.
Right.
And Kevin was 20-1. I think he was born in Dublin.
Right, OK.
And then went to America, but in America most of his life. That's all I've got, Angela.
Well, basically, he's the caretaker Pope.
He locks up at night.
Yeah, he looks up.
That's the job you've been offered.
Wow.
I think I might have him excommunicated.
So what happens next?
Well, you know, I'll be travelling to Rome tomorrow.
A bit before then, what happens next?
Oh, I shall go home and tell the wife and said, this is probably going to make it a bit awkward for you.
Well, world leaders, of course, have been paying tribute to the Pope. Did any of you see Donald Trump's tribute?
I quite liked what he said about coming to... because he's going to the funeral, and he said, "Really looking forward to it!" exclamation mark.
Well, he actually paid tribute to the Pope with all the solemnity and dignity that we have come to expect from Donald.
In the US, President Trump ordered flags at the White House and on government buildings to be lowered. He paid tribute to the Pope during an Easter egg hunt in Washington, appearing on a balcony with his wife and a giant rabbit.
He's a good man, worked hard. He loved the world, and it's an honor to do that.
There's a threesome to die for.
I think he was thinking it would be another type of bunny.
Well, fortunately, there were no photographers on hand to make Trump look ridiculous.
You think he'd try and get his hand the same shade as his face, wouldn't he?
What has the US said recently regarding Ukraine?
He said it's Zelensky's fault. There would be peace if only the person whose country had been invaded would just shut up.
Also, he said, we're going to pull out. We're not interested in negotiating a peace settlement. We're just going to give up on it. We're going to pass it, I think was the phrase he used.
Yeah, he's bored.
Yeah.
I mean, he's considered, you know, this important matter for days.
But didn't he say he was going to stop the war in a day as soon as he became president, Trump said that?
He did, and then didn't he say 100
days.
days after
100
that?
days, right, yeah.
But like a lot of things he said, it isn't true.
Trump posted about Zelensky on Truth Social saying, "We are very close to a deal, but the man with no cards to play should now finally get it done." But then also on Thursday,
Yes.
Trump posted, "I am not happy with the Russian strikes on Kyiv. Not necessary. Very bad timing. Vladimir, stop." That's telling him. Now, what has Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth done for a second time?
He's leaked confidential information about war plans, and this time he appears to have told his wife and her brother and all his friends. And this time he's really cross, because last time he didn't get fired, and this time there was some suggestion he might. Is that right?
Well, yes, but how did Hegseth defend himself?
Didn't he say someone made it up?
Well,
Oh, he said, no, that's right. He said there's somebody's been leaking information without realising that it's him. He's the one that's been doing it.
Well, he certainly didn't deny it, but what he did do was attack the news media by saying you get anonymous sources with axes to grind, and then you pull it all together as if it's some kind of news story. Well, the satirical website Babylon Bee pointed out this. "Are you still interested in receiving texts about upcoming military strikes? Reply, stop, to unsubscribe." What message did Boris Johnson recently admit to sending in error?
I'm your father.
And yours, and yours.
In the Daily Mail this week, Boris Johnson described how he sent a WhatsApp message in error, and the message read, "Hi, babe, I'm at the duty-free." He sent it to every Conservative MP, and worst of all, he sent it to his wife. we know tariffs are playing havoc with the American economy, but what else is adding to their financial troubles?
Is it Rachel Reeves visiting?
Oh, no, it's much more serious than that. No one wants to go there on holiday.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. According to the Times, numbers of tourists entering the US have fallen by over 10% in just 1 month because people are
They've all been arrested and sent to El Salvador.
Well, almost, yes. They're not going because they either disapprove of what the Trump administration is doing or they are seriously worried that they may be arrested and then deported.
Yes, I haven't booked any holidays.
Oh, man, you're going to be at that airport for so long. You're going to hear the snap of that rubber glove. Like, with
It was in Italy. There was Americans next to us. They heard we speak English, and this woman leant over and said, "I'd like to apologise for the orange one." She couldn't even say his name. She was just too embarrassed.
She's probably eating a bag of Revels.
So this is the news, that Pope Francis has passed away at the age of 88. Prince William and Sir Keir Starmer will be travelling to Vatican City to represent the UK at the Pope's funeral. It'll be 2.5 hours of incomprehensible waffle, but hopefully Starmer will shut up once the funeral starts. Donald Trump solemnly announced the Pope's death from the White House balcony. According to the New Statesman, Trump then walked down the stairs, stopped, and turned to salute the Easter Bunny. Well, to be fair, the bunny had just been made head of US Armed Forces. One Italian candidate for Pope is Cardinal Pizzaballa, who once offered himself up in a hostage exchange deal, a deal that also included free garlic bread and a bottle of Fanta. Paul and Richard?
Yeah.
Here's yours.
So this is a monkey enjoying a drink, and that's the 1970s for you. That's somebody who's had too much to drink, and there's some more beer. So, yes, we know this, don't we? But this is about monkeys consuming alcohol.
They get drunk, monkeys.
Monkeys are getting drunk. They've been spotted in the jungle eating sort of like rotten fruit that's turned into alcohol, and they're all sitting around having a good time. And it's the first time it's been observed using alcohol to lubricate a social gathering.
You're so right.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have said it otherwise.
This is the news that our pub culture may have evolved from apes.
Yes, exactly, yes. It's the first time they've been seen doing this, and one of them's put up a dartboard.
The second Attenborough is out of the picture. They do everything. They talk, they drive.
Yeah.
Drink, they're watching Netflix.
Yeah.
They're just talking about adolescence.
Is it all male monkeys, or are there...
Of course.
Yeah. Ian, give it 30 years, mate. Come on.
Yeah, and then we'll pop along for a sherry.
Well, it's researchers at the University of Exeter in Devon who've observed chimpanzees in Guinea-Bissau. What happens when people get together for a drink in a pub that researchers think may have evolved from this chimp's behaviour?
Pork scratchings?
Has a chimp been observed getting up and saying, "I'll get these"? I'm my best mate.
Just comes out the bushes, go, "I'll give that 5 minutes if I were you."
Yeah.
The scientific answer is
Yes.
that alcohol releases dopamine, leading to feelings of happiness and relaxation.
Yes.
And drinking in groups strengthens social bonds.
Yes.
And in fact, animals have often been first to do something that we now all do all the time, like taking an Uber ride. And if you don't believe me, just watch this.
It's really cute.
This is
I don't
so
know that part sucks. Let's find out.
Well, he just...
Oh, God.
Oh, Greg.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
The woods, please, and I'm in a hurry.
Staying with alcohol.
Yes.
What is the main ingredient in a new beer that is being developed in Austria?
It's not a plant of any kind, is it?
No.
Chocolate.
No.
Concrete.
Yes.
Bisons.
No. A portable loo company is developing a beer made from human urine. Disgusting, perhaps, but when you think about it, not the worst thing to have come out of Austria.
Yeah. I've got a question, though. If you drink that, do you piss lager?
Well, the researchers at the portable loo company collect the contents and then they extract the urine.
You mean they take the piss?
They take
Sorry.
You know you can get tiger urine that, like, scares foxes off from your garden. You get tiger urine and elephant urine.
Yeah.
And that's someone's job, right?
Yeah.
Collecting
I'm not sure
that.
you'd drink it, though.
No, I wouldn't drink it.
No.
Not again. But who's collecting tiger urine?
And how do you get them to aim into a bottle?
It is apparently a genuine attempt to extract drinkable, safe water from urine. Would any of you actually drink it, do you think?
I'm going to say no. Paul?
As Pope, I really shouldn't be sort of endorsing any particular piss-based drink.
But imagine the sponsorship deals you could get as Pope.
Oh, that's true enough.
Little
isn't it?
thing there, little
Yeah.
thing there, something on the hat.
Yes.
Finally, it was announced this week that dark chocolate Toblerone will no longer be available in the UK, which came as a big surprise to most of us because none of us knew that it was here in the first
Yeah, I
place.
had no idea.
It's the best-selling chocolate in the world, Toblerone.
But have you ever had the dark chocolate?
No, of course not. I'm not a savage. Honestly, I'd rather drink piss.
That's the advert. That's the advert.
Such a good tagline.
Yeah, I'd rather drink piss.
Well, this is the news that chimpanzees have been filmed in the wild sharing fruit that contains alcohol. The scientists estimate that for the chimpanzees, 85% of their diet is alcoholic fruit. The other 15% is kebabs. So, at the end of that round, it's 2 points each.
2 points each. Very good.
A report on the economy has just come through from number 11 Downing Street. The Chancellor's statement reads as follows. There may be trouble ahead, but while there's moonlight and music and love and romance, it's time for round 2, the high kick of news. So, fingers on buzzers, teams.
There's a statue somewhere that's very unpopular of a duck.
It's so expensive. Look at the size of that bill. I mean, they just discontinued Dark Toblerone. I'm having a bad week.
No, this is the news that a man walked across the Yorkshire Dales dressed as a curlew.
Oh, is that him, is it?
So why on earth did he do that?
Well, why did he do it? That's what his family are asking. Charitable reasons, no doubt.
Don't they nest on the ground? And that's quite dangerous.
Yeah, you could have all of that, actually. It is his favourite bird. Matt Trevelyan from Yorkshire decided to walk 53 miles along the Nidderdale Way to warn against the bird's extinction and to raise awareness of World Curlew Day, which was last Monday. Here he is on BBC Breakfast.
It's like some kind of mythical beast, isn't it?
They've got big legs, haven't they, curlews?
World Curlew Day on Monday, the same day as the Pope died, knocked them out of the headlines, didn't it?
Honestly, it's the perfect day. There's nothing else happening. People are going to go crazy.
Do you know, every time he gets into that costume, a famous person dies?
So the big question is, how did all of you celebrate World Curlew Day?
I ate a couple of them. Slowly. Because they nest on the ground. They're so easy to get.
What's the good news for the curlew on Orkney?
Oh, they've got rid of the stoats that were killing them off. There's been a stoat cull.
Yeah.
Is there a Save the Stoat movement?
Well, they had to tell the curlews to go in early at night, which was a curlew curfew.
And they had a big campaign, Stop the Stoats.
Yeah.
The real problem...
Very much.
I like the way that Ian says thank you very much to total silence.
Well, the stoats have gone, but the real problem in Orkney might be the weather. Let's go for a report from one of the locals.
So you went to visit Orkney during the winter. How's the weather? I mean, it's a bit breezy sometimes.
Do you think when Trump comes, we can send him to Orkney?
In related related news,
Yes.
what is a man in Japan being dressing up as?
A pigeon.
7,000 stoats.
No, a border collie.
Ah, yes.
He spent £12,000 on a hyper-realistic costume so that he can live as the animal. His name is Toko, and here he is. But what is his problem?
Have we got time?
It's not worms, is it?
He's opened a zoo for humans where people can come and dress as dogs. But an upcoming event in May has received no bookings. So his zoo is now facing closure.
He should have dressed as a Shih Tzu.
What do you think you'd be able to do at his zoo if you went there?
Seek help.
Visitors can pay £256 to spend 3 hours dressed as an Alaskan Malamute.
What actually is a Malamute?
Is it a type of dog?
No, it's a type of jam produced by Meghan.
So this is the man who walked 53 miles dressed as a curlew. Here is his curlew outfit, which really is pretty impressive, but you wouldn't want him running behind you in the marathon. The curlew is famed for its graceful posture and long legs. Get your own act. So, fingers on buzzers, teams.
Yes, this is the Supreme Court ruling, which a lot of people said, Have I Got News was pathetic, because last week nobody answered this question and it wasn't asked. It was asked, actually, and I answered it at some length. I gave my views about John Stuart Mill's clash of different rights and competitive demands on a legal system, and I talked for some time about what I thought was a very rational solution of the two parliamentary acts which the Supreme Court had been asked, and they cut it out.
Well, you do know this programme is only 29 minutes long.
It is, and I
It
have
seemed
to say-
longer last week.
Yeah. It isn't easy to do this particular subject, as Keir Starmer has found out. I'm aware I'm talking over you.
No, you're not talking over me because I haven't said anything.
Well,
I think this is a thing that a lot of people wouldn't want to say anything because it's a very sort of venomous situation. And I think kind of a lot of people are genuinely a bit frightened. No one really wants to get a death threat on. I've had quite a few of them. And that's why I've learned to dress up as a bird and wander around the malls.
So what has he changed his mind about?
Well, what he said is the Supreme Court verdict gives clarity. He's not particularly keen to say what.
He used to say all sorts of things about
And he's been caught
cervixes and thanks. And I think cervixes are hilarious as well. Yeah, and now he's done a complete about-turn.
He has, and he doesn't want to admit it.
Has someone admitted it on his behalf, though?
Yes, a Downing Street spokesman said Keir now thinks that trans women are not women.
Last week, Kemi Badenoch declared that the Conservative Party have always understood what a woman is. Here is Kemi firing off a zinger at Prime Minister's Question Time on Wednesday.
This is a question about moral courage, Mr. Speaker, about doing the right thing, even when it is difficult. And the truth is, he doesn't have the balls.
Weren't people commenting on the fact that that's all she went on about? She didn't mention anything else, like Trump, like Putin, like Ukraine.
Like the Toblerone thing.
Yeah.
Up to this point, she's not been very good at Prime Minister's Questions Time. And she had a good outing in that he had...
A bad outing.
He had a very bad outing because he did say one thing and he has changed his mind and he doesn't want to admit it.
Last week, the Supreme Court ruled that women were defined by biological sex and explained it in an 88-page legal judgment. You see, just 88 pages. It really was that simple.
It's good, though. It is worth a read. It is fairly
You've
clear.
read all 88 pages?
Yeah, no.
I'm waiting for the film to come out.
Yeah.
Fingers on buzzers again, teams.
Ooh, people smell.
It's to do with smell, certainly, because this is the news that women select their best friends based on how they smell.
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. You're my best friend.
Tell it to the scientists at Cornell University in New York, because they say that women chose friends based on smell and that they can tell if they're going to be friends with someone within just 4 minutes.
Look, if someone came along, right, and they smell of chocolate...
Yeah.
But they were really boring, I'd get rid. And let's say they smelt of urine, but they were a right laugh. I'd put up with the urine.
You don't need 4 minutes for a smell, right?
No,
you get a bit of personality in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
If it was like they made their mind up in 11 seconds, then you go, oh, maybe that's the smell. But, yeah, with respect to the researchers at Cornell, it's hardly monkeys getting drunk, is it?
No. Tell me, how did the scientists conduct their research?
They didn't do any. They filled in the form and claimed the money. I've no proof of that.
There was a team of 40 women...
Oh, come on.
...wearing T-shirts for 12 hours to capture their scent. The women were then asked to judge one another's friend potential based on the smell of the T-shirts before meeting a person for what they referred to as a speed-friending chat. Joe, what do your friends smell like?
Well, my friend Betty smells like a rotting corpse. I hope she watches this. It's just a new perfume she's been working on.
I have to admit that if someone sniffed me for 4 minutes, I'm not sure I would want to be friends with them. But
that's essentially what Strictly is, isn't it?
in other news, what have scientists found the formula for?
Eternal life.
We'd probably lead with that, wouldn't we?
They're researchers from the University of British Columbia, and they say what they've cracked is the formula for the perfect day. What do you think they say makes up the perfect day?
Living in British Columbia, getting paid to do fuck all.
Move into the Vatican and say those curtains will have to go.
Painting over the Sistine Chapel. Yeah. I don't like this.
Yeah.
After analysing data on how people use their time, they have recommended no more than 6 hours of work. However, what you should have are at least 6 hours of family time, 2 hours with friends, 90 minutes of extra socialising, 2 hours of exercise, and 1 hour of eating.
I'd rather swap eating and family time round.
Extra socialising sounds like a euphemism. 90 minutes? Not doing 90 minutes.
Would you change ends at half-time?
What's your perfect day, then, Ian?
Not being sued.
Well, in other sports news, Leeds United have been promoted to the Premier League.
Yes.
Would you like to see how Look North covered the excitement?
Totally.
Yeah.
Our sports reporter Sally Hurst is live in Leeds as celebrations continue this evening. Everyone's in a pretty good mood there tonight, aren't they, Sally? Yes.
Time now for the odd one out round. Just one between the two of you this week. They are Robert Jenrick, piano player Igor Levit, Odysseus, and 21 robots in Beijing.
I reckon this is about marathons, taking a long time to do something.
Ah, yes.
He's a pianist who's doing a recital, playing the same piece a huge number of times. And then those robots ran in the marathon.
They didn't do very well, though, did they?
They didn't, no.
There's not a bloke holding him back, look. Not fair, is it? Tell us the story about Odysseus.
Yeah. Because that would be my perfect day.
Yeah.
Odysseus took a long time to get home.
He took a long time to get home when they made a statue of him.
I've taken a long time to get home before. No statues of me.
No statues of him.
I mean, think of the cost of marble, but even so.
But which is the odd one out?
We think the robot is the odd one out.
Yeah.
Why?
No further questions, Your Honour.
Yeah. You better tell us.
You're sort of on the right track. They've all taken part in feats of endurance, apart from Robert Jenrick, who's about to take part in the London Marathon this weekend.
Yes.
Is he?
But he hasn't done it yet.
Not done it yet.
What confusion did he cause?
Wasn't there something about lots of people on a WhatsApp group or... I don't know what I'm talking about here, but...
But you're right.
Am I?
Because ahead of the marathon run this weekend, he suddenly added 600 contacts to a WhatsApp group.
Well, there we are, you see.
Fueling rumours that he was about to launch a Conservative coup.
Yeah.
He had intended, he said, to message contacts in his phone book individually, asking them for donations to a charity in support
Is that the
of him
Conservative Party?
running. Well, shall we just remind ourselves of how Robert Jenrick's wife reacted when he lost the leadership race
Oh, yeah.
to
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
this-
please.
Eddie Badenoch? What feat of endurance is superstar pianist Igor Levit performing in London at this very moment?
He's playing... It's a work by Eric Satie, and he's playing it a lot of times.
It's called Vexations, and it consists of a simple phrase, perhaps just 1 or 2 minutes long, but which the composer instructed should be repeated 840 times in a row. He's been playing since 11 o'clock this morning. Anyone want to send a few words of encouragement to him before we go on?
Encore, I want to say.
Well, Levitt isn't apparently going to leave the stage at any time during the performance.
Hello.
How do you think this has been made possible?
They built the piano like around him, like this, so he can play one-handed for a bit.
Very good idea, but what they've actually done is he's got a seat that can be turned into a bed. There's a screen that goes around him and the piano in case he does need to go to the toilet.
Piano stool, as they call it.
Thousands of runners competed in a half marathon against 21 robots in Beijing this week, making this the very first time that man has jogged against a machine. Here's how the robots got on.
Is that Michael Gove?
Joe, apparently you once trained to run in a marathon, didn't you? But you were taken ill the day before.
Yeah, thank God. No, I know, I'm not like you. I can't even lift my leg above my other foot. Really. I admire you doing Strictly. Did they give you any drugs to help your...
Odysseus was the star of Homer's hit poem, The Odyssey.
Yes.
Describing his 10-year journey home after the Trojan War.
10 years it took him.
10 years. 10 years of the war, 10 years to get home.
Do you know what? I bet a lot of that was he was just... There's no way it took him 10 years.
Replacement bus service.
Yeah.
Who is playing Odysseus in the current film version of his journey home?
Ralph Fiennes.
Got it?
Very good it is too.
Yeah.
And he has buffed up, so he's got this amazing torso. I mean, you just got to see it.
Well, we can, because here he is. But the thing is, he has got competition. Just look at this.
I'm not going to say anything because I can't imagine that's the only picture you've got.
No, we've got another one.
Yeah, here we go. Why does it look nothing like me?
It looks like Ed Balls.
Yeah.
Well, they've all taken part in feats of endurance, apart from Robert Jenrick, who is taking on the London Marathon this weekend. Robert Jenrick has famously lost a lot of weight prior to the marathon. In fact, If he runs really fast, he could set an Ozempic record. 21 robots recently took part in a half marathon in Beijing. The fastest robot completing the course in 2 hours and 40 minutes was called Tiangong Ultra, though he was later disqualified after testing positive for WD-40. It's time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Chinchilla Connection.
Oh.
We're going to start with, if you're going to exhibit your chinchilla at a show, don't forget...
The chinchilla.
What? The answer is to dust it beforehand.
Dust it?
Yeah.
Dust it?
Dust it, yeah, but whatever you do, don't hoover it.
Just going to dust the old chinchilla?
Yeah. Might take 90 minutes.
Next, scientists claim you can what if you fire laser pulses into your eyes?
See a new colour.
You're right, you can see a new colour.
Yeah, I bet it's red.
It's a mixture of sort of green and blue, I think, isn't it?
Well, scientists in California have discovered a never-before-seen colour which you can fully appreciate by having your retina stimulated by lasers.
Yeah.
Here is the brand new colour.
Oh, that's so unusual.
That's a new colour, is it?
Yeah, it's a new colour.
Yeah.
Right, I'd paint the Sistine Chapel.
Be good to have lasers, like firing lasers in the Sistine Chapel as well.
That would be good.
That would be a good first day.
I'll make a note.
It would screw up the painting on the ceiling, though, wouldn't it?
Listen, I'm not having a go at Michelangelo. I'm sure he was perfectly good in his day. But,
Wouldn't cut it now, would he, Richard?
exactly. It's hardly dogs playing poker, is it?
Next, it's risky to turn your back on a chinchilla because...
It'll rip your lungs out. Because of the risk of identity theft.
My name? Richard Osman.
They're notoriously bitchy.
The actual answer is it'll be breeding within seconds.
On its own.
Next, Curry House in Manchester surprises customers by what?
Serving chinchilla biryani. Curry House in Manchester surprises customers by moving to Liverpool.
No. The answer is by serving up cream egg samosas.
But you didn't go, when it was a chinchilla biryani.
And the Burnley Express reported just 200 will be available over the bank holiday weekend on a first-come, first-served basis.
So there's still 199 left.
So here is the creation. It's dubbed the cremosa.
Why isn't it called the Sameg?
Next, the day when you and your chinchilla can what might not be far away.
Legally make love. In the Greater London area.
Can have a full conversation.
Talk to each other.
Yeah.
There you go. According to Chinchilla Connection,
Yeah.
scientists could soon be able to understand animal language.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah. The ability to communicate with animals has implications beyond the lab and could even challenge long-held beliefs about animal cognition, said a chinchilla. Next, new perfume will make you smell like what?
A new friend.
A chinchilla. Midnight in Dockland. Tower Hamlets.
Almost. Coronation Street. This is soon to be released as part of a range of toiletries that are based on Coronation Street. Absolutely perfect for anyone who wants to smell like Rita's cabin. Finally, choir singer surprised by what during service?
Is it VAT on clutch cables?
No. It's quiet singer surprised by joy. She's the organist.
Is it lack of ketamine?
No. The answer is a dive-bombing squirrel.
That is good.
Now, keep your eye on the top right-hand corner. The squirrel's potentially fatal fall...
Potentially? He'll have to do a Lazarus to get up from that.
Was he all right?
Was he
all right?
I I mean, all that happened, he just buried his nuts.
Yeah, up through his neck.
So the final scores are Ian and Joe have 3, while Paul and Richard somehow have 4.
We have 4.
On which we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Joe Brand, Paul Merton and Richard Osman. And I leave you with news that on his first visit to a tattoo parlour, one man tries to tell the shop employee there is no W in anchor. In Windsor, there's evidence that being king has gone to Charles's head as he refuses to walk to a tree planting ceremony. And in Florida, as the Rolling Stones embark on a new world tour, Mick Jagger is keen to show that he's still got it as he runs through his repertoire of moves. Good night.
I'm surprised we won this week. I thought we'd lose.
OK.
I'm not infallible.